Hey, let's take a look at Wild Thing number 3. This is the daughter of Wolverine in an alternate universe called MC2, or the Marvel Comics 2 universe. I think this is from 1999. Let's find out from inside. It is from December of 1999. That's whenever it was put out, the 3 months ahead of the actual release date. Right off the bat, we got some action going on the very first cover. It's called Awakening. We got a big old sentinel attacking our Wolverine from the future, which is what we call Wild Thing. I haven't heard anybody call her that yet, though. But then we go back to what's, they always start off with action and then go back and give you a little bit of backstory. We got Rena and her frenemy, I guess you can say, the blonde-haired girl, trying to do after-school work, and the teacher's like, "Thank you so much. You guys are so great," and just kind of being like, chummy, like, the greatest teachers are, I guess. But whenever he leaves the room and there's a big hole in the wall, she actually refers back to that moldy 2D movie in our art history class. A killer android is sent from the future to assassinate an ancestor of a political leader. I'm going, I think they're referring to Terminator 2, the whole sphere that they come back in. But an ancestor of the I don't know about that part, but they're trying to be a little bit loose on it. So sometimes they refer back to things, but they don't want to completely nail it because, I guess copyright licenses. I don't know who had Terminator 2. I think Dark Horse had it at this time. Well, while they're pondering that, she's trying to figure out, Rena, or Wolverine's daughter, is trying to figure out, where's the teacher at? He was here just a second ago. He figures, oh no, he might have got vaporized. They're like, hey, let's split up. She's like excited because she got the questions, or the answers to the test questions. You can't do that. That's stealing. So she's trying to get her to not steal. What is this, though? Harsh Realm. From Chris Carter, creator of the X-Files. Starts October 8th at 9 p.m. I haven't heard of that show or whatever. All right. That was back in 1999. I don't remember much about the TV shows from back then. So whenever they split up, of course, Wolverina or Rena becomes the Wolverine of the future, whatever you want to call her. And then, well, we got a Terminator coming into play. He's going after her. He finds her. She's a Class B mutant. Now we find out. Ooh, look. Marvel Comics internet auctions. It was the internet back in 1989? Huh. But anyway, you can tell by his tattered shirt, like, wait a minute. Tattered white shirt. Sentinels don't wear clothing. That's kind of odd. But who else was wearing a white shirt? You have to wonder. So I remember something about there was a sentinel virus that turned people into sentinels. So I thought maybe that has something to do with it. But anyway, she's fighting the dude left and right, going back and forth. But the sentinel suddenly decides, oh no, there's actually a Class A mutant designate in the vicinity. So he's like, yeah, forget you. I'm going after a Class A mutant that's dormant. So she's like, what? And guess who it is? It's little Miss Blondie herself, the quiz answer stealer. Or I guess it's finals. Well, she's got to defend her frenemy, going so after her. Look at that mad chaos. So evidently, since he's got some organicness to him, her claws can attack. I wonder if her claws can actually attack a full-on sentinel. See, he's not technically a sentinel at this point. He's kind of in between. We'll find out later what technically is. But this time I was still thinking he's got the sentinel virus. So she throws some hot coffee in his face, and he's like, there's little things like this that are hilarious. I'm waterproof as well. It's like, hot coffee. Here, seriously? You're going to fight a sentinel with hot coffee? But there's some humor to this. After she basically defeats him, she's like, now whatever happened to Mr. Woodhill? This is Mr. Woodhill. Jubilee. So Jubilee shows up. She's no longer the spunky little girl in the 90s, even though this is the 90s comic, but you'll set in the future, of course. You got to remember that. Pay attention. All right, so she shows that he is really, and I guess she's injected him with something. She talks about how Dr. McCoy developed something that basically gets rid of the sleepers. He was a sleeper in dormant state. They thought they got him all, but they missed one. So they reactivate him back as his teacher mode, which I don't know how his shirt got shredded. That's kind of interesting, too. Now he's going to think he's a human for the rest of his life, but he's always going to be a cyborg. They can't get rid of that part. He doesn't know he's a cyborg. So, yeah, he's just going to go on. And at the end, it's like he's confused by what's going on. Who's this girl? or woman. And then behind him, there's a hole in the wall. He's like, amazing. What could have cut through all that steel? And why would anyone want to go through all this trouble to steal the answers to last year's finals? And Rena's laughing because she couldn't get her frenemy to give up the answers to the questions for the finals. And it's useless. She's going to be stealing it for nothing. In the second story, we actually have a J2, and this one is actually written by, I forgot where I saw it. It's another good story. It's not written by Larry Hama, though. It's written by somebody else. But we have J2 is fighting. Okay, this is what confuses me. He's fighting an ape. Right here, you read that the ape is really somebody's brain stuck inside of an ape's body. Big Julie, which sounds like a female's name, is an old enemy of mine, a master crime lord whose brain is presently housed within the body of a mighty gorilla. That sounds like a DC Comics villain. Like a villain of the Justice Society of America we've met in Infinity Incorporated and in the Justice League. Who could it be sounding like to you? Yeah, it sounds like the Ultra Humanite. That's exactly what it is. It's like, are they deliberately ripping off? I mean, they could be just poking fun with it, but I don't know. I mean, I just thought that was very interesting. I haven't read J2 yet. Evidently, this is like post J2 split comic books, I'm guessing. I need to pick up some J2 comics and get them under my belt read. But anyway, he fights him. Every time he tries to fight him, he turns into a gorilla. So after, I guess he has like an hour to be J2 when he goes back to being his scrawny little human self. He goes after it again and again and again until, of course, he's going to win. Spoiler alert. Also, something about him living... Oh, no, maybe I'm thinking of the next story. That's his friend in this story. So if you want to pause it and read this right here. The Wild Thing letter page. And then we got Hulk with milk on his mouth. What a great way to end the story. Well, hey, let me know if you bought Wild Thing. If you haven't, I would definitely pick it up. You know, gee, I didn't think about that. I was looking for Wild Things number 0 and 5 yesterday at a store. And I don't have a store near me. I was actually far, far, far away. And he thought it was talking about Wild Thing from... This is technically volume 2 of Wild Thing. Volume 1... I guess it's earlier 90s or something. He was like, oh, no, we don't have Wild Thing Volume 2. We just have Wild Thing. In other words, they didn't have it. So maybe I could check on eBay because maybe getting 0 and 5 would be more expensive than just getting the whole run off of eBay somewhere. I'm sure somebody's got it and they don't want it. But hey, if you see this video, I would definitely pick up this whole series. It's like 6 issues. I only have 4 of them. There's a number 5 and there's a number 0. So 0 through 5. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for spending 7 and 8 minutes with me.